Hey, what up, Facebook and YouTube? How y'all doing today? Let me get this. Okay, had to resume my video there. How y'all doing, guys? It's been a minute since I spoke with y'all, not that long, but I wanted to weigh in on this new book that's coming out by the gentleman's name is Michael Wolff, who wrote this book, Allowed to Be Free in the Early Days of this White House, Trump's White House administration for the first year. So I'm going to give my quick review on that book. Before I get started, I wanted to say this. I did a video before, the video before this one. And I'm gonna admit to you guys, I was absolutely apoplectic. I wasn't just mad, I was furious at our White House staff around the president, as well as the Congress, Senate, and the House for how they have been protecting President Trump and not really holding him accountable for some of his actions. So I gave a scathing review of those individuals, and trust me, I think they deserved what they got. So with that being said, I just want to weigh in on this book that he's written. I've been watching most of the local news networks and national news networks since this book was released. Well, it hasn't been released, but since the information about this book and its release have been out there. So a lot of journalists, especially nationally, are talking about how this book is going to make our president look. And for me, I don't see it that way. I don't see this book because it has very scathing revelations about the Trump White House and about Trump. You know, there's several people in this book that have called the president dumb, stupid, an oaf, an imbecile. I mean, they've called him a lot of pretty horrific names, very bad things they've said about him. And so when you listen to the national media, this is their response to the book, that this somehow is going to look bad for the president. Now, my take on that is a lot different from theirs. Because all of us have kind of felt that our president has not really been fit for the office. We've seen some things that he's done, and it has rubbed us in a way that has concerned us all who've got brains as American citizens. I'm going to go through some of the things step by step that the book say, and then I'm going to sort of elaborate on them. The book says that as, you know, the president of the United States, he doesn't like to read. He doesn't like to read information in briefings. He doesn't pay attention when in the sort of educational, intellectual, political exchanges with other foreign governments, that he's just, he doesn't read it all. Now, some of that, I have to admit, I have seen. I mean, this is a man who gets his information and will say it publicly as if it's fact, from people like Sean Hannity from Fox News, who has really turned into a big conspiracy theorist. You've got InfoWars, which is nothing but a conspiracy theorist show. You got Judge Gene Shapiro. He'll look at these shows and he'll repeat what they say as if it's fact. When this is a man, president of the United States, he has one of the biggest information, one of the most in-depth information apparatuses that anybody could have. His knowledge should be extremely shocked, because at his disposal, he has all type of individuals that he could bring to him that would have expertise information on some of the things he weighs in on, and he doesn't seem to do that. Another thing, too, look at some of the bills that he have tried to push through. His health care plan. He seemed to not know a damn thing about his own health care bill. And now I can understand you don't like to read, okay? Because I know a bunch of people who don't like to read. I know a bunch of black, Hispanic, white people. They do not like to read, but they still love to learn. So I have advised them, you know, there's a spot called LibriVox Recordings. Any of you guys can go on it. It's a beautiful website where there is tons of books. Where if you don't like to read, but you like to learn, you could go on LibriVox Recording, type in what type of book that you want to have narrated to you, and you can sit back and listen to that book. I would suggest that you have a dictionary beside you, because sometimes books can have words. You may not know what that word means. It may throw off your whole understanding of what the book is trying to say to you. Therefore, you can open that dictionary and look that word up and continue to listen. But I know plenty of people who don't like to read, but they like to learn. To me, it's like the president. He doesn't like to learn, period, because he could get people to read the health care bill to him, narrate it to him, and he could be just as sharp. And so when I look at these things, and plus we have watched this president in action, and we have heard him say some things that, come on, I'm not going to lie, I have said that's the stupidest thing he could have did. He appeared to be stupid. He appeared to be out of touch. He appeared to be extremely dumb. And I'm saying this because why? I'm not a millionaire with my name on hotels. Did I run for president? No. But if I was placed in that position, there is no way you could have paid me to do half of the dumb shit that he's did. Period. So with that being said, from my opinion, he has exhibited some very boobish, sort of oafish behavior as president of the United States. So when I listen to what Steve Bannon, not Bannon, I'm sorry, I keep pronouncing his name wrong, Bannon, has said about the president, his family, you know, Ivanka and Kushner, her husband, I think we've all known as American citizens. We've looked at this. We've all known this. So I don't think this is a book for me that's really going to make the president look no better than what he has made himself look. I think, to me, it makes the individuals who have been protecting him look bad. And this is why I gave such a scathing review of our White House staff around the president, our senators and congressmen in the House of Representatives. This is why I gave such a scathing review. I think it makes them look bad because they have been the ones, a lot of people, let me say this, a lot of people that's in this book were around that table with the president, and they were praising the president. Oh, Mr. President, thank you for letting me serve in your administration. Oh, Mr. President, you're the greatest leader. Oh, Mr. President, you're so smart. You are so ingenious. You're so, you are the greatest thing since sliced bread. When at the same time, they was calling him boobs, dummy, stupid, oath, you name it, they were calling him that. So, for me, this book reflects more on them. It makes them look bad than it does the president. It makes Sarah Sanders Huckabee looks bad. It makes her look bad when she come out and defend this man. I call her Shameless Sarah. And what's the other woman spokesman they got in the White House. What's her name? Oh my God. What's the blonde haired lady's name? I could see her face. And I cannot think of her name. And she's in the White House. What is this lady's name? Oh my God, I can't believe. Oh, Kellyanne Conway. I like to call her Kellyanne Conjob because she is the lioness individual I've ever seen in my entire life. So, for me, this book really reflects on them. Here's the president's closest people talking about him in this way. Steve Bannon talking about him, talking about Trump's son, and really in a nutshell how stupid he was to take that meeting with the Russians. He called it treasonous. I wouldn't call it that. I would definitely call it stupid as hell. And he definitely should have called the FBI immediately when the Russians even approached him with this. So, with that being said, you know, this is my review on the book. That this book, to me, I'm curious to see now how these individuals come out and praise the president. Because I've seen nothing but bootlicking. You had Orrin Hatch when he got his tax bill pushed through. Oh, you're a heck of a leader. This is the same party that was doing everything in their power to make sure that he did not become the nominee of their party because they was embarrassed, because they knew that he would be a stain on the Republican Party. They knew it. Now, another thing the book says, too, is that a lot of people around President Trump didn't think he was going to win. That President Trump didn't even think he was going to win the presidency. Now, there's a video that I did, oh my God, way back before the president's inauguration. And I'm going to find that video. I'm going to make sure I put it up on Facebook, and I'm going to make sure I throw it up on YouTube as well, where I am looking at the president's body language. Pull up the video. This is what I'm going to tell y'all guys to do. Pull up the video where you have President Trump, elected President Trump with Obama in the Oval Office, and look at President Trump's body language. He sits with his hands down like this and his shoulders in. He was looking very imploded. That's a sign of a person who is like a deer in the headlights, who's lost, who doesn't want to be in the situation that they're in. It's something that you see in a child. If you're a parent and you've ever scored your kid, you see them. They get those hands folded and those shoulders curling, and they get in this imploded position because they're feeling intimidated due to the fact that you have got them in a position in referring to them a situation in which they portrayed bad behavior and shouldn't have done it. Or a school teacher scorning a student does the same thing. Pull up that video and look at Trump's body language. He did not want to be there. He looked like a man who was terrified. He looked like a man who did not want to be president. And let's not forget, this man said on the news, he said to a journalist, I miss my old life. I had a better life. In so many words. I had a better life than this. He was crying out then that he did not want to be in that situation. So, am I a person that believes that he didn't think he was going to win? I have to say, yes, I am. I saw it in his body language, and we heard it in his own words. He did not want to be in that White House. And then the book talks about the inauguration day, how him and Melania was fighting the whole entire day. And we saw at the inauguration that video where Melania had this big, beautiful smile on her face. She was so proud of him. She was looking at him. She was so proud. And he turned around and looked at her. I don't know what he said. But her whole, it looked like her whole, he ripped her whole heart out. That video is online. You could look it up and watch it. So something was going on between them two that day that was publicly obvious, and the cameras caught it. So, like I said, I'm going to be getting the book. I'm going to be reading this book as soon as it goes on sale, because of course the White House came out and issued this cease and desist with the printing of the book, and the book is, all they did was speed up the publication of the book. So I'm going to be buying the book tomorrow. If I could get it at a Barnes and Nobles or whatever, I'm ready. I got my charge card ready. I'm going to buy this book, and I'm going to read it from cover to cover. I think it's going to be a pretty interesting a book to read. I would advise you, if you can afford it, to go out and buy the book and read this book, Michael Wolff's book on the President's White House. It is called Fire and Fury. So read that book, and when I post this video on Facebook or YouTube, if you get a chance to read the book, tell me what you think, because I'm going to definitely weigh in on the book. But that's my take on the book. I just want to get a quick review to everybody. So I just want to say to you guys, you have a good night. You know my saying. Always remember to be your fellow Americans' keeper. We living in some pretty rough times that I think us as American citizens can only fix. I think our politicians in Washington are just too far gone to really put us back on the path in which we need to be. We know that this is a government that is of the people, for the people, by the people. We are the people, so let's make it happen. Let's become our fellow Americans' keeper, and let's get this country back on the right path. I love y'all. Good night. May God bless y'all. And it's been a pleasure speaking to y'all. And go get that book. Get Michael Wolff's book, Fire and Fury, about the President's White House. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.